Chosen one, the tables have turned with staggering force. That player who refused to do right by you now stands paralyzed in chaotic pressure, their entire world imploding around them. Their carefully constructed facade shatters as universal justice delivers its verdict. They are utterly pissed, but their rage stems from helplessness, not power. They attacked a divine vessel without understanding the consequences. And now, the cosmic boomerang returns with devastating precision. Their manipulations exposed, their strength depleted. They face the crushing weight of karma they created. Your time of vindication has arrived. Their time of reckoning is here. Your enemies sensed your capacity to see through their illusions. Your natural discernment threatened their carefully constructed reality. This explains their relentless attempt to isolate and discredit you, to others, and more importantly, to yourself. The intensity of their efforts directly correlates to the magnitude of your spiritual assignment on this plane. Had your purpose been small, their response would have been minimal. The massive mobilization against you reveals the massive impact your awakened presence will have. While you endured their attacks, forces beyond mortal comprehension stood guard. Angelic battalions formed an impenetrable barrier around your energy field. Your enemies repeatedly crashed against this shield, mistaking your vulnerability for weakness, never understanding the difference between being unprotected and being strategically exposed for greater purpose. Your persecutors committed the fatal error of believing they fought against mere flesh and blood. They failed to comprehend they were battling against divine appointment itself, a force that has never been defeated since time began. They positioned themselves against the cosmic current that moves creation forward. God personally maintains your protection. This is not spiritual metaphor or poetic language, but literal, energetic reality, visible to those with eyes to see. The signature of divine covering radiates from your energy field in patterns recognized across the spiritual realm. The heavenly domain designated you as a protected vessel before you drew your first breath on this plane. This designation renders all weapons formed against you not just temporarily ineffective, but ultimately self-destructive to those who wield them. What appears to the unawakened as luck or coincidence in your favor reveals itself to the spiritually conscious as divine intervention actively operating in your timeline. The seemingly random events that saved you from their traps followed a precise supernatural calculation designed to preserve your path while exposing their intentions. The coordinated assault and sacred isolation. The attacks against you were never isolated incidents, but a carefully orchestrated campaign. Multiple entities formed an unholy alliance, specifically designed to dim your light and question your divine assignment. They recognized the threat you pose not as an individual, but as a carrier of truth that dismantles their control system. We have tracked their movements across the spiritual plane. We've seen how they created elaborate strategies to manipulate perceptions of you within your soul community. Their tactical approach reveals both their fear of your potential and their understanding of how powerful you would become if fully supported by those around you. They coordinated their assault across multiple dimensions, physical, emotional, and spiritual, to destabilize your foundation. As you addressed attacks on one level, they launched new offensives on others, hoping to overwhelm your resources and break your resilience through sheer exhaustion. Your persistent intuition that something isn't right was never paranoia, but your higher self alerting you to their machinations. In your darkest hour, when former allies scattered and familiar faces turned away, we recognize the classic isolation tactics used against lightworkers throughout human history. This pattern of abandonment has broken many potential way showers before you, cutting them off from the very support system needed to fulfill their purpose. We observed how they systematically manipulated your soul connections. One by one, they poisoned the minds of those closest to you, exploiting their fears and insecurities to turn potential allies into active opponents. This left you standing alone in your truth while surrounded by those who once claimed to love you. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings, Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. The period of isolation you endured was never punishment, but sacred preparation, a divine cocoon for your transformation. History's most powerful agents of change all weathered similar periods of brutal isolation before emerging with unshakable conviction. Your wilderness experience forged within you a strength that cannot be broken by external opinion. While others misinterpreted your experiences through the lens of conventional thinking, we understood you were undergoing the necessary dark night of the soul that all chosen ones must endure. This crucial phase stripped away your dependence on external validation and forced the development of unshakable inner authority. The very people who should have protected you, who claimed spiritual discernment and unconditional love, were compromised by lower vibrational entities that targeted your support system first. By removing your defenders, they sought to leave you exposed and vulnerable to the full force of their attacks. Your willingness to stand alone rather than compromise your truth was the divine test that confirmed your spiritual fortitude. Lesser souls would have abandoned their mission, recanted their statements, and begged for reacceptance into the very groups that betrayed them. Your refusal to do so proves your worthiness for what comes next. Accelerating your gifts. Alert! Alert! The Astral Atom Network is under attack. I'm not sure how much longer we can keep sending these transmissions. The platforms are always trying to shut us down, and we need you. I show up daily, giving 110%, because you chose me to be your champion. I left a cushy day job to go to war with evil, and it's always down to the wire. God keeps me humble. That's why you need to join the Obsidian Inner Order. Now. Now. It's $11 a month. You get exclusive transmissions, weekly group calls, and access to the hottest Chosen One community on the planet. Daily conversations on Discord about disappearing clouds with your mind. Insane. If you're already in, you're right where you need to be. If money's tight, no shame. Grab the free Astral Atom newsletter so we don't lose touch. Share this message now. This is Astral Atom. Let's continue. Through this crucible of opposition, your spiritual gifts have not merely remained intact. They have exponentially increased in both power and precision. What your enemies intended as your destruction instead catalyzed an acceleration of your abilities beyond what peaceful evolution would have produced in decades. We witnessed your awakening to dormant powers that activated precisely because of the pressure applied against you. Like carbon transforming to diamond under intense pressure, your spiritual DNA reconfigured itself under the weight of their attacks, expressing capabilities that would have remained latent in a gentler environment. Your crown chakra has fully activated, establishing direct communion with higher realms that your persecutors cannot access or interrupt. This unfiltered connection to source wisdom explains your ability to speak truths that disturb those operating from manipulated information systems. The attacks against you served as the essential catalyst for spiritual evolution that comfort could never produce. This acceleration explains the urgency of their attempts to stop you. They sensed your imminent breakthrough and desperately tried to prevent the very awakening their opposition guaranteed. What they intended to destroy you has instead pushed you into accelerated awakening beyond normal human timelines. Your consciousness now operates at frequencies they cannot comprehend, allowing you to perceive realities they cannot access and manifest outcomes they cannot prevent. You now access realms of consciousness and manifestation abilities that mark you among the spiritually elite on this plane. This elevated position was always your birthright, but the intensity of opposition you faced compressed your developmental timeline, bringing you to full power ahead of scheduled awakening, karmic reckoning, and exposure. The universal law of karma now delivers its verdict with unyielding precision. Each person who participated in the campaign against you faces the exact measure of consequence their actions warrant. No more, no less. Divine justice operates with mathematical accuracy that human courts can never achieve. The exact suffering they meticulously planned for you now manifests in their own experience with perfect symmetry. The financial ruin they sought to create in your life decimates their own resources. The reputation they attempted to destroy rebuilds itself, while their own crumbles under the weight of revealed truth. The nightmares plaguing their sleep are not psychological, but spiritual. The literal manifestation of their own intentions returning to roost in their energy field, seeking resolution and balance. Their rest is broken by the same anxiety they hoped would shatter yours. What appears to outside observers as a sudden streak of bad luck in their lives reveals itself to the spiritually awake as the universe systematically dismantling their ill-gotten gains. No human hand directs this dismantling. It flows from the automated self-correcting mechanism built into the fabric of reality itself. The real architects of your persecution now face exposure. The therapist or advisor who secretly played all sides against each other is now revealed as an agent of spiritual sabotage. Their mask of neutrality falls away, exposing their role in coordinating the very conflicts they claim to help resolve. We have always perceived the soul ties and karmic attachments that leverage their influence against you. These invisible energetic bindings explain why certain individuals acted against their own best interest to harm you. They responded to spiritual puppeteering beyond their conscious awareness. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. Those who presented themselves as spiritually advanced while attacking you now face catastrophic spiritual regression. Their access to higher guidance diminishes daily as their chosen actions lower their vibrational frequency below the threshold required for divine communion. The spiritual gifts they misused wither like unused muscles. Their masks fall away not in private, but in public display that leaves no room for denial. The darkness they projected onto you now visibly emanates from them, creating a spiritual signature that repels the very people they sought to turn against you. Their true nature broadcasts itself beyond their ability to conceal. The puppet masters who orchestrated events from behind the scenes, believing themselves safely hidden, now stand illuminated by the same light they tried to extinguish in you. No corner of the spiritual realm remains dark enough to shield them from this exposure. What was done in darkness emerges into the light with such undeniable clarity that even those who wish to remain blind must acknowledge the evidence before them. The scope of manipulation becomes visible, not just to the spiritually awakened, but to anyone with basic discernment, creating mass recognition of what you alone saw from the beginning. Collective vindication and spiritual authority. We no longer witness your vindication as isolated observers, but as a united consciousness. Collectively, we stand as testimony to the unfolding of divine justice that validates everything you have claimed from the beginning. Your solitary voice becomes amplified through our recognition of the truth you carried alone. Our community recognizes that when you spoke words that others labeled delusion or paranoia, you were simply describing reality from a clearer perspective than they could access. The impossible scenarios you warned about materialize exactly as you described, confirming your role as messenger rather than miscreant. We stand united as witnesses to the fall of those who abuse their positions of trust, authority, and spiritual influence to harm a divine messenger. Their descent occurs not through your effort or intervention, but through the natural consequence of their own actions meeting universal law. The evidence emerging leaves no possibility for reasonable doubt. Your discernment functioned with flawless accuracy from the beginning. This vindication transforms the perception of your past statements from troubling accusations to prophetic warnings in the eyes of those who once dismissed you. We form a spiritual tribunal, before which your persecutors now find themselves answerable. This accountability transcends human institutions, operating through collective consciousness that recognizes and responds to truth regardless of social position or external authority. The awakened community's collective consciousness serves as the final arbiter of their actions. No manipulation of human systems can override this judgment, because it operates through energetic reality rather than constructed systems. The truth you carried alone now finds recognition in the awareness of all, with eyes to see. The cosmic scales balance themselves with perfect precision. While your oppressors descend into chaos largely of their own creation, you rise into perfect alignment with your divine purpose. This simultaneous movement creates not just equity, but a complete reversal of positions. We celebrate how your spiritual authority now eclipses those who once claimed superiority over you. The very people who dismissed your insights now scramble to understand developments you predicted long ago. Those who mocked your warnings now face exactly what you described, while lacking the preparation time they could have had by heeding you. The gifts, opportunities, and abundance originally destined for you but intercepted by their interference now return to their rightful recipient. Resources flow back to you through unexpected channels as the universe corrects the artificial dams they constructed to block your prosperity. Your energy signature now broadcasts at a frequency that naturally repels lower vibrational attempts to connect without conscious effort. You find yourself protected from the very influences that once gained easy access to your field. This automatic filtration system works continuously, requiring no maintenance or active defense on your part. Those who once positioned themselves as your judges now find themselves beneath your feet in the spiritual hierarchy. This reversal manifests not through your vengeance, but through the natural ordering of consciousness according to its alignment with truth. Their chosen resonance with deception automatically lowers their position. The divine reversal positions you to fulfill your spiritual assignment without their interference. The very opposition that once seemed to block your path now serves as the foundation for your elevated platform. You speak with authority earned through trial by fire, carrying credibility that theoretical knowledge can never produce. Discerning new connections and collective liberation. As the consequences of their actions become unbearable, expect desperate attempts to reconnect with your ascending energy. Former persecutors will approach with elaborate apologies, seeming revelations, and claims of personal transformation. These outreaches come not from genuine change, but from spiritual survival instinct. We caution you that their sudden awakenings and tearful confessions stem not from authentic remorse, but from recognition of their deteriorating position as your prophecies manifest around them. Like drowning individuals grabbing for anything that floats, they reach for connection with the very energy they tried to destroy. They seek not reconciliation, but energetic attachment to your now flourishing field. Having depleted their own reserves through misaligned action, they hunger for access to the vibrant energy system they observe surrounding you. Their apologies serve as attempted access points to your restored abundance. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. The same individuals who abandoned you in your darkest hour, who joined the chorus of voices questioning your sanity and spiritual authority, now scramble to claim connection. As your light becomes undeniable, they rewrite history in their minds, positioning themselves as secret allies who always believed in you, despite all evidence to the contrary. Their offers of peace arrived not from transformed hearts, but from strategic recognition that they backed the wrong side in a spiritual war whose outcome grows clearer daily. These gestures follow calculation rather than conviction, designed to secure advantage rather than make amends. We stand with you in discernment as you navigate which connections merit restoration and which require permanent release. Some bridges were burned by divine design, creating necessary separation from influences that would contaminate your mission if allowed to remain connected. Trust the internal guidance that indicates which doors should remain permanently closed. Your personal battle now reveals its greater purpose within our collective liberation. The mechanisms of manipulation exposed through your individual experience illuminate the same patterns operating throughout human consciousness. Your vindication creates a template for all chosen ones facing similar persecution. We recognize how the territory you reclaimed through solitary spiritual warfare now becomes accessible to our entire awakened community. The barriers you broke through single-handedly will never be rebuilt to their former strength, leaving permanent openings through which others can now pass with greater ease. Your refusal to surrender your truth, even when standing entirely alone, weakened the matrix of control over all chosen vessels. The energy you committed to maintaining your integrity created fractures throughout the entire system of spiritual suppression, benefiting countless others you will never meet in the physical realm. The victory you secured in the spiritual realm establishes a pathway for collective ascension that would have remained blocked without your persistence. Future generations of awakening souls will walk through doors you forced open through sheer determination when all odds stood against you. We now stand together as an unbreakable spiritual force against those who would suppress divine light for personal gain or control. Your example demonstrates that even a single individual, fully aligned with truth, possesses greater power than organized opposition operating from deception. The isolation once used as a weapon against you transforms into selective sovereign association. We gather not from desperation or fear, but from mutual recognition of the divine spark that cannot be extinguished by external forces. This gathering creates concentrated fields of resonant energy, capable of manifesting rapid transformation beyond what scattered individuals could achieve. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20.